Hey everyone, welcome to the overview of my zine, Lo-Fi-Ghosts. We are going to talk about volume 2. I'm really excited to talk about this zine. I put a lot of love into it, with Halloween and October being kind of like my favorite season and month. If you haven't seen the first one, I will have the video linked below in case you're curious about the first one as well. So this is volume 2. I did call it the Following Special. Following Special. In the first scene, I ended up using like glossy paper just because there's a lot of photography involved, and I think photography in general looks nicer with like gloss because gloss makes blacks look very black. But this time around, since I had a lot of these like custom illustrations and whatnot and designs, I thought it'd be better to use like a semi-gloss, semi-matte type of paper. But it's kind of like one of those soft velvety papers, if you know what I mean. Like it has like a very soft velvet texture to it. I just felt like it feels nice to touch. I'm just constantly doing this at my desk. So this was the front page, and I wanted to do a custom like Halloween themed cover, and really this was just kind of like a combination of some small Halloween decor and like the things I'm kind of into right now, which is like Y2K technology. So my iPod, and then this is supposed to be my Hobonichi Techo. That's what this is modeled after, in case you don't know. So I'm gonna just go through all of the pages and just talk through some of my thoughts with the illustrations and the content within the page. I really wanted to do the same thing I did with the first scene, where like I have the silhouette of the ghost, but like an image inside. So have the image of these CD-ROMs, and then I have it in the back here. This one was actually an illustration that I did in the past. I used to create like a bunch of like Halloween stickers, and so I really wanted to repurpose some of those sticker designs. I thought this was really fun to add in here for the zine. I really love this page. I love the way that this turned out. I wanted to dedicate a bigger section to journaling because, after all, journaling is kind of like my main content here, and those of you who are reading my zine are probably here from my journaling videos. So I wanted to dedicate a little bit more space to journaling, and just like how journaling has helped me in general, like as like a hobby, but also just as like a mental tool. And for a lot of us, I know how important journaling is, you know, for our day-to-day lives. So I thought I would dedicate like a little bit more to journaling in this copy. I think a lot of the focus I have in my zine is just like tying things back to like pre-social media, like pre-social media days, back to kind of like the analog and like the Y2K technology. Part of what appeals to me about the Y2K technology is that we didn't really have social media then. We had limitations on what we could do on the internet, and I think sometimes like having limitations is healthy though, because the amount of stress and worries we have now with social media is like really crazy. Especially because like I am a millennial and I grew up in an era where we didn't have like social media, and there was always a longing for more, you know, like when social media started becoming a thing, it was like really interesting and everybody was excited about it. But I just think that it was like too much. Like it became all too much, and I kind of miss the days when we just had like instant messaging and like texting each other is like how we communicated, instead of everyone stalking each other's social media. But yeah, like I wanted to kind of highlight a lot of that sentiment into my zine. But I really like this page and how it turned out. This is obviously my Filofax book and a little bit of my Hobonichi cousin cover. And then this page is pretty much just dedicated to all the Junji Ito stuff and like some of the Hobonichi drops. So I wanted to dedicate a little collage page to it. And I thought it'd be fun to have this page of like where I'm talking about how I use my notebooks. But yeah, it was just like a fun way to lay out all of my notebooks that I currently use. So this section is called The Art of Being Offline. And as you can see here, this is kind of like all the relics of like Y2K tech, and like it's funny because I have them like all here. Like I could like literally show you guys, like here's my DS. I have my Sidekick somewhere. Okay, yeah, here's the Sidekick. I don't have a silver iPod, but I do have my purple one. There you go. My Tama Uni. And then here we got a digicam. Oh no. Yeah, I killed my Tama Uni, I'm not gonna lie. She became a ghost and I'm sad about it, but we live and we learn. Ta-da! Those of you guys who are not familiar, one of my other hobbies, like I have a million hobbies, but one of my hobbies is to collect 90s Y2K devices. So this page is definitely a little bit of a dedication to being offline, online, offline. And the beauty of these kind of old digital gadgets is that really, like, whatever their purpose is, it just serves that purpose. So for example, like Nintendo DS, the only purpose the Nintendo DS serves is to play video games. But like when you pop a game in here, like I have my Tetris DS, which is my favorite game like of all time, you just focus on that. Like I only can focus on playing Tetris. So you can only like focus on playing the game. You know, same with the iPod. The only functionality of the iPod is to listen to music. I don't know, we're just at an age where there's so much distraction with our phones and smart internet devices. And although I do appreciate having all of that technology, I do find it really therapeutic in a way to play with these old devices. Also, it does something for me, like for my ADHD. Like I think just being able to focus on like one thing and one purpose per device is like my way of compartmentalizing. It's fun to collect for one, and two, they're aesthetically pleasing things. I just think that 2000s devices looked so much nicer than anything modern where everything's just silver and black and gray. Like it's so boring. So that's kind of just like an ode to the old technology here. This page this spread, I called it Sleepless in Cyberspace, and it's a little bit about insomnia in general. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'll go on like Reddit or YouTube or wherever, and I'll see some kind of topic that I hadn't thought about in years, and then I'll start going down this like Wikipedia rabbit hole and like ChatGPT rabbit hole about it. And like it happens to me often, and it's just like the internet is like amazing in the way that like modern internet, you can find like literally anything and everything these days, but there's just too much. There's just not enough time in our lifetime to even like look up all of this stuff. Why read one article when I can read 10? But then like that takes time. So I don't know, it's like I have qualms about like modern media and like social media in the sense that like I think there's just too much. There's too much to see, there's too much to get into. That's kind of what I talk about in this section, and also just like searching for a solution and how I've disconnected a lot throughout the years when it comes to like social media, and I feel like it does help a lot with insomnia as well, but I do still struggle with it to this day. This section is called Coping with Shopping Addiction. I mean, I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but I really wanted to add this section in. And for me, shopping addiction was definitely like very bad for me. I mean, like I had struggled with a real shopping addiction, like true to the word addiction. I still struggle with it to this day, and that's kind of why I wanted to write this section, because I'm not like completely like cured. I don't know that I will ever be completely cured, but I do think that through therapy, through art, and being creative and all my other like outlets, I do think there are ways that I have combated the shopping addiction or the urge to impulse buy, and I feel like this can resonate with a lot of us here in the planner journaling community, especially because there's just so many options out there, and I falter so hard with like overspending in this community. The other thing I kind of want to emphasize, like correlated to this thought, is that like with this zine, there's a reason why I make the zine free to read. I never had the intention of writing this zine for profit, and even with the physical copies or the digital copies, but more so the physical copies since they are a little bit more expensive, I don't really make like much profit off of these. It's really just more of a like collectible, like nice to have for those of you who like the physical books. I think that the core idea of my zine, of Lofi-Ghosts, is to create a space for those of you who can relate to the content, and a lot of it has to do with like mental health and coping mechanisms for mental health ailment. And I want to be able to put this stuff out there as like a free type of, I don't want to call it a resource, but it's more like, I feel like this zine is more of like a comforting, calming read. And there's nothing like too profound about this zine in any way, but I do like to share like stuff like this or any of the other topics like about social media and all this, just because I feel like it is a comforting way of me speaking on these topics without being judgmental to anyone else who is struggling, because why would I judge anyone when I'm struggling with all of these things that I'm talking about? By supporting me, you don't have to buy anything that I put out there. And there are going to be more zines in the future probably, and like products that I will put out there, and that's fine. Like I want to create products more eventually for Lo-Fi Ghosts and for my channel, but it's more like products that I feel like are nice to have. It's not like products that I feel like you need to buy stuff from me to show your support, if that makes sense. It's more important for me to cultivate some kind of community and just feeling like you're in a calm and safe space where we can talk about things like this. I always just feel like I'm a failure compared to others, and that's why I felt compelled to like make this section, because it's like, it's such a taboo topic, but it's like so real, you know? Like I do struggle with spending, and a lot of it has to do with spending being a coping mechanism. I know this is kind of rambly and I'm sorry, but I really felt like it was an important enough topic to ramble about. So I hope you're still with me here. So this is just kind of like a fun like break page. I did want to include some like simpler, like not as wordy like break pages like this, just to give yourself a little bit of a break from the read. Took this photo at Knott's, I think, or no, sorry, Canada's Wonderland. And this was actually taken on a film camera. I'm supposed to be in here somewhere, but all you could see was the little spooky lanterns. But honestly, I just thought that was kind of a vibe. And it was like a perfect little backdrop for a little ghosty illustration. These are my little trick-or-treat ghosties. And then we switch it up a little bit from this page. This is the Media Archives, the Cozy Fall TV and Movie Guide. This is my favorite fall cozy TV shows, and this is my favorite fall cozy, sort of cozy movies. And they're not necessarily like fall movies, not necessarily anyway, but I just feel like I watch these movies every single October, even though they're not like Halloween movies or autumn movies. There's just something comforting, I guess, about all these movies. I mean, like some shows like Friends, Gilmore Girls, I mean, these are definitely like fall coded shows, but a lot of these are just things that I feel like are comforting for me, that are repeat watches every year. And this is my therapy talk section, so I definitely wanted to emphasize like a therapy session kind of section. I won't go like too deep into this, but basically it's just kind of talking about therapy in general, like how therapy has helped me in the past, how I've changed like my relationship with therapy. So this page is kind of more personal, but hopefully it will resonate with a lot of you guys who may not find that therapy has worked for them. So this page is supposed to mimic like the AOL Instant Messenger like chat box, and it just gives you like this little chat commentary from the Ghosties therapy chat. I just thought this was kind of a cute and fun way to send a positive message, basically. And then again with the break page, I just thought I'd add some cute like Y2K tech and gadget. The first copy also had a So Weird dedicated page. So Weird being one of my favorite shows of all time. Definitely a comfort show. It's an old Disney Channel original show from the 2000s, late 90s, and it pretty much is what inspired Lo-Fi Ghosts. But yeah, so I just kind of have this like laptop UI, I guess, of showing some kind of story. And this is the same format I used in the first one, so I'm just kind of bringing it back since I feel like it worked. This is kind of a story of a famous apparition photo. And then I think this is the last page before we get into like the mini Halloween section. But this is also an old like calligraphy like design that I made, and I thought it fit really well into the zine aesthetic. This page is called Lowe's Proverbs on Protecting Your Energy. And then we go into the Halloween mini zine. It's only a couple of pages long, but I really wanted to dedicate some Halloween content to this issue. So just talking a little bit about Halloween in the 90s hitting different. 90s Halloween stuff is my childhood after all, so I just kind of do a little blurb about that. I did this little illustration from Not Another Teen Movie. Oh, was it Not Another Teen Movie? I think it's Not Another Teen Movie or Not Another Scary Movie. Whichever movie it was with the Wayans brothers in it. I just had like fun with this section, like this Halloween section in general. So this page is called Growing Up on Witches, the 90s witches. And then I wanted to just show a little dedicated movie recommendation page. One of my favorite like witch themed movies. It's very like lighthearted, so anyone can enjoy the movie. It's called Teen Witch. It was made in 1989, so shout out to any Swifties who get that reference. I don't mind Taylor Swift's music. I just wouldn't call myself a Swiftie because I don't listen to her music regularly. But my friends who are Swifties, they love Taylor Swift, right? And they would always be like, oh, this is your era. And a lot of them always tell me that Reputation is my era. I think it's because of the aesthetics. So I'm just, again, if you're a Swiftie and you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. This movie came out in 1989 and it's so... I want to say it's very underrated. I also think a lot of people have never like heard of it or have never watched it because it's quite an old movie, but it's so charming and it's so cute. Then I did draw the McDonald's Happy Meal buckets because these are just so iconic to me and I had to draw these. This page is just fun. It's spooky and creepy stories that happen on Halloween. So just like random fun facts of things that happen on Halloween. This page could probably have been better designed, I will be honest. I wanted to keep with this kind of sleepy gray theme just because I wanted some coherency with these pages. So this page is just some of my favorite like spooky horror games. I don't actually like playing horror games myself because I'm a fraidy cat, but I do love watching like streamers and like YouTubers do playthroughs of these games, and I watch them like every year. If you are like me and you don't really want to play these games yourself but you're intrigued, I would definitely watch like Markiplier and Hollow. Those are my two favorite horror game content creators on YouTube. And then this page is Halloween movies for those who don't like scary movies. So I will say that I made some of the text here a little bit too light. So the super light gray text is just the genre. It's not really like super important, but basically I put like witches, playful, lighthearted, or witches, dark. So I'm just putting like the genre and some like short themes of these movies if you've never heard of them. This is just another break page. It is a sparkly outline illustration that I did of the Hogwarts castle in Universal Studio. Yeah, so I remember taking this photo like pretty soon after like the opening day, like when Hogwarts or the Wizarding World opened at Universal Studios, because I used to work at NBC, and so I was able to go like when the park opened, and that was like a really fun experience. I thought it would be cool to add something memorable into this as like my photo of choice. Yeah, just like another blurb about Halloween and nostalgia in general. And then the last page basically is just kind of like a closing note about apparitions. And I actually really like this page, so I hope you'll give it a read. And then a thank you. The thank you ghosties are back. They were in the first one as well. Just like a little thank you note for being here. And then the back section, this just has all my social links. So that's it. That is the zine. I hope you guys enjoyed the flip through and the talk through a little bit. Let me know if you guys have read it online or if you resonate with any of the topics that I talk about in the zine. Thanks again to all of those who have supported the zine. Really, I cannot thank you guys enough. I feel like it really means a lot to me that like anyone at all is interested in reading the zine. But yeah, I hope it gives you cozy, calm, and good fall Halloween vibes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next zine.